Hola y bienvenidos a Finish My Story, where we try to tell narratively complex stories one line at a time. Oh yeah, welcome back. There's stories to happen to your face.
Peter, what is going on with you? You're singing and you're speaking in Spanish?
I know, the bilingual Peter. We didn't know.
I'm actually quadrilingual, but
Oh.
You have that many limbs?
Yeah. Welcome. I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. I'm glad to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other listeners.
Listeners. Let's say hi to them. Hi, I'm Peter, and I'm an improv actor.
Hi, I'm Les. I'm a storyteller.
Hi, I'm John. I'm a screenwriter.
And
Should we do it again in Spanish? Is that like
No. I think that's about as far as my Spanish knowledge goes.
Hola, me llamo Peter?
Hey, there you go. That wasn't me. That was John. That was a lie.
So you have to say Hola, me llamo Jonathan.
See?
Oh yeah, because we can't.
Nope,
you know what? Too confusing.
So here, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna try to tell narratively complex stories, as I said,
One line.
At a time.
And if it's your first time listening, welcome. Go back, listen to their episodes. What's your favorite episode so far, John?
I have a fondness in my heart for our first episode, Richard Mouse, and I also love the last one that we did, our Are You Watching Closely episode.
Are you watching closely?
And then also all the ones in between.
Mm-hmm. So every episode is your favorite.
I don't want to pick favorites, but yeah.
Okay, Les, do you have a favorite?
Yes, the King of Queen.
Oh, that's my favorite. Oh, okay. Well, fine. So then we're sharing favorites. You know what else? Which one I like a lot? It's our second episode. It's one of my favorite episodes because I think it's still to this day has the best line in the podcast, and that's the Baker's trial. It was a dark and stormy night, and Les gave us an amazing line that once we get some listeners, we'll put on a T-shirt. But that's a long way from now. So, guys, what narratives have you been into right now? Like, what are you reading or watching or shit?
Well, I have decided that I need to read more of the classics. So I have started out by reading Moll Flanders by Daniel Defoe.
Wow.
And you know what? Moll Flanders is a boss-ass bitch.
Stupid, sexy Flanders.
That's actually the subtitle. It's Moss Flanders, subtitle, boss ass bitch.
Are you still watching your Hallmark movie?
Yes.
Of the week?
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? All right. It is now the countdown to Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's
for the
right.
Hallmark Channel. Yes.
They're counting down. So happy Valentine's Day to everyone listening on Valentine's Day. And if you're listening after Valentine's Day, you're late, and I don't give a shit about Valentine's Day anymore.
Wow.
Wow.
Yikes.
Peter.
Take that, Hallmark Channel.
That sounds like the beginning of a Hallmark Channel movie because they're always bitter in the beginning until they find love when they go back to their old hometown.
Wait, so it's the same as the Christmas?
Yes,
but just with
yes.
Valentine's Day instead?
There's a formula, but then they go back to their own. They're an executive that goes back to their hometown and they're bitter because of love, and then they find love.
But you know, it's like they know that they need to have an arc, but it's just going to be the same arc for every single movie. I mean,
Yes.
it's
yes.
effective. Let's just say.
And then they're always starring like Lacey Chabert or like the same girl. You know what I noticed? So a lot of the guys that were the hunks in the Christmas movies are now like the hunks in the Valentine's movies too. And it's always Lacey Chabert or, Deirdre Hall is in one, Marlena from Days of Our Lives.
It's like the Mercury Theater. They just keep reusing the same actors.
Yes.
Except not Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Oh, he's dead.
Well, no, I'm also talking about quality. The Hallmark people are not. Anyway, Peter, what have you been watching?
I've been rewatching a sitcom, like I do. Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23. Great show.
I have never watched it. I'm a fan of.
It's so good.
I'm a fan of the cast.
It's so good. Kristen Ritter is just. It's so good, and it's like rewatching it, and it's just kept all of its jokes there, still fresh. And although it's weird, it's like 4 years ago. If you were in your late 20s, James Van Der Beek was like a part of your childhood. But like now, it's only like 4 years later. But like now, if you're in your late 20s, I don't think James Van Der Beek was in your child. We missed that moment. Like he's no longer hot to like 20
he's
year
still
olds.
hot.
No, he's still hot, but he's no longer
knew that
like
was
in
coming.
the mind of like mid 20-year-olds. You know what I mean?
But it's very meta that he's playing James
Oh, he
Vanderbeek.
plays himself, a very fictionalized version of himself.
Oh, that's great.
It's hilarious.
It's like Matt LeBlanc in episodes.
Yeah, but
like
it's a
LeBlanc.
funnier version of. It's like a more ridiculous. Like Matt LeBlanc was like took some like I got to be at least a little bit respectable, and James Vanderbeek did not give a shit.
Oh no, he was a full on shameless piece of crap.
That's true.
In episodes.
But that's the show. Actually, I didn't like him in Dawson's Creek, but in Don't Trust the Bee, that's what made me like him.
Yeah. So check it out, John.
I shall check it out.
And what are you reading, listening, watching to?
I'm still getting through my first ever watch through of Parks and Rec, and it is amazing and hilarious and very lighthearted and sometimes what you need. But also the other day I watched Girls Trip.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh, that was
Dude,
good.
We were talking about that a couple days ago.
We were talking about it. I hadn't seen it yet. I watched it yesterday.
It's great.
It was good.
It is really great, and Tiffany Haddish is the funniest person alive.
So great. She deserves everything she's getting. Which sounds way more intimidating if you say it in a different way. She deserves, you know what I mean?
You know what I learned from that movie?
What's that?
Make sure you go to the bathroom before you do a zip line.
Oh yeah, and if you don't know why, watch the movie to find out.
Or the trailer. It's in the
Yeah,
trailer.
it kind of sucks that it was in the trailer, but all right. So cool, good. Let's talk about the podcast. So yeah, we're gonna tell stories one line at a time. We're also gonna have some things that we'll do, like a
Story pause.
hey, what's a story pause, John?
Story pause is when we just need a little break in the story to either elaborate on what was just said or to clarify what was said or even just to make fun of what was just said.
That's a lot of times what it is. And how do you story pause?
You just say, story pause.
Oh, and then we pause.
Yeah.
How do you get back into the story?
We say, resume story.
Or story resume.
Thank you, Peter.
Les, what else do we have?
We have story punishment.
How do we punish? What, a punishment?
Yes.
What is
a
that about?
punishment. Well, you know, if you get a detail wrong or if you forget, you know, where we are in the story
Sure.
or forget the person's name, you get a story punishment.
How do you get punished?
You hear a bing.
Bing,
Bing?
bing. And then,
If you are story punished, your punishment will be voted by you, the listener.
you, the listener, he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to you, the listener.
The listener, you, Darvish.
If he's listening, man, why aren't you tweeting about it, you Darvish? You've got a huge following. Anyway, yes. So you'll vote on it. We'll put it on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. On Instagram, you can follow us there on Instagram and Facebook at Finish My Story Podcast, and on Twitter at Finish Story Cast. Names can't be as long on Twitter, so there you go. Awesome. Well, as we mentioned, it is Valentine's Day, and as much as I love you, Les, and as much as I love you, John.
As much as I love you, Les.
Les is married, so I'll never win his heart. But we're gonna
Never
try and
say
tell
never,
a
Mr.
romantic story, not a friend love story. Well, we're not necessarily going to tell a romantic story. This is our Valentine's themed episode, so it's like themed with Valentine. We're gonna start with one of our favorite romantic comedy lines because you guys, you know that love actually is all around us.
I hate you. I've also never seen the movie, so
Oh my
oh
god!
my God.
Ah, John.
it's like I've just revealed my straight-itude.
The more I watch that movie, the more fucked up and kind of like backwards and misogynist and terrible it becomes. So I try not to think about that. So try not to think about that when you watch it. Put it yourself from the mindset of 2001 before we understood how to make movies that were unoffensive.
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
The movie came out in 2003, so
No,
I don't know.
I thought it
well,
was 2001.
you're
It's
wrong.
around that fucking time. Who
I haven't
gives
even
a shit?
seen the movie. Goddamn.
It's in the early aughts.
Early aughts when
I'm a
we just
huge-
made movies.
Richard Harris is amazing, though. I have seen About Time, the time travel movie.
Oh, I do like that movie. I've seen that movie.
That movie's great.
Yes.
Also,
Shout out to Richard Harris.
this is our second movie in a week with a Hugh as one of its leads.
Oh yeah,
Interesting.
we clearly have.
Well,
a preference.
happy Valentine. We like huge men.
What?
Well, we
Huge.
do, actually.
Peter. Peter. Peter.
That was terrible.
Nothing wrong with that.
Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, so pick up a box of chocolates, grab some flowers, and We're gonna get into it. Look at the flowers and eat the chocolates while listening to this romantic story.
Or look at the chocolates and eat the flowers. We don't care.
Hey, if anything, the baker's flowers told us these flowers are good to eat. Bring us a call back, folks. Anyway,
This is quickly hopping off the rails.
What's gonna happen?
Okay, well, last time Les started.
Yeah.
And I started the time before that.
So that means that.
So it means
God will start.
Well, the voice up in the sky.
Okay.
I don't know what you want to call it. We're gonna start with Peter.
Okay.
It's gonna go Peter,
Mm-hmm.
and then over to me,
Then
John,
you.
and then it'll go to Les.
Wait, I think I get it this time. Then after Les, it goes to me, and then back to you, and then back to you, and then back to you.
Yeah, like Back to One, the great Brian McKnight song. As we're talking about
Start
Valentine's Day.
back at one.
No, let's not do that.
Yeah.
No.
One. It's like a dream come
You
true.
know that song is actually
Two.
about setting
I
up.
can't say anymore without getting sued.
3.
It's about a TV.
What's that?
It's about a TV. It's about how to set up your TV with the remote control.
Are you serious?
100%.
No, it's not.
Yup.
Okay, my heart is broken.
Really?
Yes,
You
because I
don't
always
love
thought it was like
TV?
this romantic song.
Well, it is romantic. It's just him sitting on the couch with his hand down his pants, a la Al Bundy.
And that was before there were flat screens, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
wasn't that an
He had a
early
tube.
song?
Another early aught song.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess flat screen was different then.
Okay, listen, their chocolates are being eaten. We need to get into it.
This is going great.
I hope you don't get coconut cream. Here we go. Whenever I get gloomy with the state of the world,
I think about the one person whom I care for most.
That's what Juliet said to herself as she looked out the window on the rainy street.
in South London.
The gloomiest yet most romantic part of London.
Juliet was sad because it was Valentine's Day and she did not have a date.
For you see, the person she cared about the most wasn't a love. No, it was her great aunt Petunia.
Who taught her about love, actually.
But Aunt Petunia said that love sucks because Aunt Petunia was left at the altar 2 decades ago.
So even though Aunt Petunia made Juliet happy to think about when she got gloomy about the state of the world, she didn't bring her joy in this forsaken Valentine's time where she felt very lonely.
She thought about how love was out there and could be grasped, and so she would go out to find it herself.
Juliet was just trying to figure out exactly how could she find that love? How would she go about it?
So she put on her galoshes, whipped out her umbrella, and headed outside.
There were fewer people out on the street of South London in the gloomy, rainy day of Valentine's Day, so she would have to venture indoors.
So she walked down the street, squish, 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 in the water, until she found the South London Mall.
A mall is as good a place as any to meet a person, she thought to herself.
She made her way through the front entrance and gazed at the mall directory.
What stall do I have to go to find love?
There's a Cinnabon here. I think I should go to the Cinnabon.
Juliet marched with her squishy galoshes over to the Cinnabon, which was famous worldwide and has stores everywhere, and thus must have foreign men.
You know, a foreigner would be rather nice.
Heck, I'd even take an American.
She lied to herself. Juliet would do anything for love on this day.
So Juliet longingly stood at the Cinnabons as she was in line waiting to see the cashier.
When across the mall, coming out of the Disney store, was
the most muscularly charming-looking Mickey Mouse fan she had ever seen.
As he walked out of the store, he said, "I like Mickey Mouse, don't you?" to his friend walking with him.
My God, muscular? A Mickey Mouse fan and some sort of foreigner?
Excuse me, you gonna order something at Cinnabon?
Yes, I'm rather fond of Cinnabon. Can I have a Cinnabon? One of them, actually.
To go. I'll come back in a second. I'll be right back.
Juliet fled the line and ran over to the muscular Mickey Mouse fan who was wearing Mickey Mouse ears from the Disney store.
She didn't want to seem too obvious, but she had to get his attention, and so she thought a great way to do it would be to pretend to fall. Oh no! I think I've twisted my ankle!
The muscular man run over. Oh my God. Well, I can help you. My name is
Judge.
Story pause.
Yeah, the story pause for those who don't know what that is.
Judge.
My name is Judge.
My name is Judge. It's from Arrested Development,
Arrested Development.
Season 3.
Oh.
It is a joke about the magazines from the early aughts in which you would find the My Name is Earl advertisements everywhere.
Okay.
Whenever you'd open a magazine, it said, My Name is Earl. And so there is a mock trial show with Judge Reinhold.
Yeah.
My name is Judge.
But this guy's name is Judge. It's now
This guy's name
canon
is
in
Judge.
this story.
Yeah. Judge and Juliet.
Story resume. Oh, Judge, can you help me to the bench? I think I've twisted my ankle.
Why, certainly I can, Your Highness.
Judge swiftly picked Juliet up with great ease, and a spark flew between them that was palpable to both.
He sat her down on the bench, and as she sat on the bench, she looked into Judge's eyes, and she felt a flutter.
10 years later, Juliet was sitting at home with her husband, Edward, going over their vacation plans for them and their 2 young children.
Juliet and Edward had met 7 years prior at a pub on Valentine's Day.
And even though Aunt Penelope said,
Ding!
Ding. Hey, now.
Oh, Aunt Petunia.
Oh, we got our first ding in a couple of weeks. Pow pow.
Even though...
Wait.
The spirit has left Les's body.
Resume the unding? End of ding? I forget
Let's
how we
say
come back
unding.
from it.
How do we come? We just go
All
for
right,
it, Les.
continue, Les.
Go back.
So even though Aunt Petunia said, "You can never trust a man,"
Oh my God.
she married him anyway.
Story pause. By him, you mean a man? She
Edward.
married a man.
She married Edward anyway.
Yeah, but she married him. Even though her aunt
Said,
had an issue with men, she married a man anyway.
Yeah.
Good for her. Okay. Story resumed.
So here they sat, Edward and Juliet, looking over vacation magazines, happy as two warblers in a nest, when they picked up one for Florida.
I've always wanted to go to Florida, haven't you, darling?
Story pause. For the love of God, was that was intentional, right?
Yes, quite intentional.
Okay, thank you.
I would like to see how you guys do that accent.
Story resume.
Why, yes, I've always wanted to take the children to Disney World.
You know what? I think they're at the right age for it. That seems like a great idea, my love.
And so, with the help of the internet, Juliet bought plane tickets and accommodations to Florida.
Meanwhile, Aunt Petunia is on the internet looking for a destination for her vacation as well, and she said, I've never been to Disney World. I think I'll go.
Story pauses. Is she a chimney sweep?
She's a brassy broad
who hates men.
Yes.
Story resume.
And I know that.
If you don't know, now you know.
I might leave that
You did say earlier that the fourth voice would be from above.
Oh my God.
The new iPhone, if you hold down the button, Siri goes off, and it's in my pocket, and I guess I leaned on it or something.
Well, if you don't know, now you know.
If you don't know, now you know.
Oh my God.
I've never seen Les laugh this hard. Okay. Oh, story resume? And I know that my little great niece Juliet will want me to watch the kids when she goes on her vacation, so I'm going to take my vacation at the same time she takes hers, so I don't have to watch those stupid kids.
Aunt Petunia was normally a wonderful person, but her years of emotional abuse from different men have turned her even against children.
So, a few days later, Juliet and her family hop on a plane and they fly to Orlando.
Only to see, in first class as they walk through, Aunt Petunia.
Brushing her teeth with no care for the people around her and spitting back into the tiny little cups.
Well, blimey, what are you doing here?
That's what I was going to say, Edward said.
Caught between her aunt and her husband, Juliet just rushed the kids to the back of the plane without saying even a hello to her aunt.
And as she ran to the back of the plane, her aunt yelled, "And I ain't watching them kids either!"
We don't need you to. We brought them on a family vacation. We didn't know you were going to be here. The point of us going to Disney World is that we could bring the kids everywhere.
All you men think alike. Go have fun. Leave the kids with Aunt Petunia. All men think that exact same thing.
Australian.
There's a little bit of Australian in my... I've spent a lot of time traveling Australia. It goes in and out.
Juliet was getting quite embarrassed, and so she decided to quiet everyone down so they could all fly in peace.
And so she did so, and they flew in peace for the rest of the way and landed in Orlando 7 hours later. Bing.
Now landing in Orlando, said the pilot sensually.
So they got off the plane and they hopped on an Uber and they went to the Disney World Hotel. Oh, this is rather charming.
I think we're going to like it here.
As they made their way through the lobby, Juliet saw a familiar face.
Oh no, it couldn't be, she thought to herself.
How is Aunt Petunia at this hotel too?
Juliet was sure she was the only one in South London who knew of the Disney World Hotel and Resort. Story pause. I got less. Okay, story resume.
Even though there was a Disneyland in Paris, she still thought that she was the only one who knew.
Well, Aunt Petunia, you are the thing that is the most important thing to me in the world. So, if you want, you can join us on our vacation. It seems like fates have brought us together.
Will I have to look after your kids?
Oh no, we have the kids under control. We'll take care of them. We just want you to have a nice, relaxing time.
Perfect. Then yes, I will join you.
But first, let me say hello to your kids, whose names are...
Hello, Chucky. Hello, Amy.
It's your great Aunt Petunia. Again, good to see you, I guess.
Chucky and Amy said nothing, but they hugged Petunia's legs on either side, which Petunia took as an attack.
Get those damn kids off of me! Get them off of me right now!
Oh, you know what? Actually, this is kind of nice, I guess.
Well, of course is nice. That's love, actually.
Love? Oh, love, I haven't felt love in 40 years. Not since that bastard Rocco left me at the altar.
Well, don't you feel love for me?
Oh, no, gross. I don't... I wouldn't. Ew. Your family, I wouldn't do that.
And besides, my heart is so ripped up and torn up, I couldn't feel love if my life depended on it.
All right. Well, I hope I could change your mind with my beautiful little kids, but I don't think I can, so let's just enjoy Disney World together.
Oh my god. And so after dropping off their luggage into their respective rooms, the 5 of them went to Disney World together.
So they walked into Disney World, and it was a wonderful place for them. But every time Juliet saw a Mickey Mouse, she couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness.
For 8 years earlier, on a trip to Los Angeles, a person in a terrible Mickey Mouse costume had assaulted her and stolen her wallet.
That was how she and her ex broke up. For she thought it was him who stole her wallet.
Even though Judge said over and over again, I would never do such thing to you. I would never hurt you. Juliet had all of the information in front of her that showed that he did.
For he was the only person, she thought, that ever wears Mickey Mouse costumes.
That, and she found her wallet on his person.
And her heart was so broken, she was unconsolable.
And so 2 months later, on Valentine's Day, instead of trying to find a love at a Cinnabon, she walked into a pub to drink.
Juliet ushered her family away from giant-eared people towards Space Mountain, where they would have fun together.
They went to Space Mountain, they went to the haunted house, they went to Pirates of the Caribbean, and just ran around and hit every ride they could.
Until they arrived at the most romantic ride in Disneyland, the teacups.
Aunt Petunia insisted on being in charge of spinning the teacups around, for she had the most brute strength.
So Aunt Petunia and Juliet were sitting in the same teacup, and Aunt Petunia just made that teacup spin so fast that when Juliet got off of the ride, she felt a little faint.
Excuse me. I think I feel a little faint. I have to go to the infirmary. Aunt Petunia, don't watch the kids. I know you don't want to, but just stay with the rest of my family so I know you're here. I'll be right back.
Juliet woozily made her way towards the infirmary, and before she could get there, stepped awkwardly and fell to the ground.
Oh, I think I've twisted my ankle again.
For the second time in 10 years.
I'm so clumsy.
All of a sudden, she saw a hand reach down. Are you okay?
There, standing over her, was a 6'3" man, ripped to shreds, wearing a Mickey Mouse hat. It was Judge.
Juliet was speechless, and once again, the flutter of chemistry shot back and forth between them.
Judge, is that you?
It's been a long time, hasn't it? You still look as beautiful as ever.
And you still have that voice.
Judge whisked her up and sat her on the bench.
Just like old times, huh?
I wish I could use a Cinnabon right now. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but you just have an effect on me.
Oh.
Judge looked at Juliet, and he started to feel the sadness and the longing that he had for her all of this time that they hadn't been together.
Why didn't you believe me that it wasn't me who beat you up and stole your wallet? Why?
I can't remember the why anymore. I'm here. I'm with you. And in your arms.
And then all of a sudden they heard, "Stop right there! What are you doing?"
Aunt Petunia! What are you doing here? Well, I know why you're here, but this man was just helping me. That's all.
Aunt Petunia, Edward, Chucky, and Amy were all being led by Goofy, who was taking them towards the infirmary where they had found the scene.
Juliet was so confused, she didn't know what to do.
I thought I got rid of you years ago, Petunia said. I mean, I thought you left years ago.
Judge dropped her ankle and stood up to face Petunia, shocked at the sight, afraid of Petunia.
Wow, I haven't seen you since the night of... And he quickly shut himself up like he was holding on to a secret.
I've been holding on to a secret for a long time. I think it's finally come around that I know what happened.
Mummy, who's this man? Charles said. Charles is Chucky, it's the same name.
Oh, Chucky, this is an old friend. An old dear, dear friend from a long time ago.
Petunia, you want to tell her? Or am I gonna have to?
I think I can tell him. Because, well, it's been long enough that you didn't know who your biological father was.
Edward, on the other hand, looked shocked as well. Wait a minute. You better think before you talk, Juliet.
All right, I'll tell you what's going on. This man is a judge. He's not a judge. His name is Judge. And he is my ex-lover. And Chucky's real father, you knew he wasn't yours when we met, but, he's 10. Or 9, I forget how old you are, Chuck. You're just so grown.
Then Judge looks at Chucky and then looks at Aunt Petunia and says, "You know what, Petunia? I'm sick of holding on to this. I'm just gonna tell him."
The night you were mugged and someone stole your wallet, Petunia came over, and we had a drink to talk about me popping you the question. And then the next day, all of a sudden, I have your wallet. Doesn't that sound suspicious, Petunia?
Are you implying that my aunt flew to you, figuratively, stole your Mickey Mouse attire, and assaulted me for my wallet, and then framed you for it so that we wouldn't be together?
Yes. Think about it for a second. We were in love. Why would I ever hurt you?
Well, that makes a lot of sense. No one who loves another person ever hurts that person, ever, ever, ever. Well, what do you have to say, Great Aunt Petunia?
Well, there's only one thing to say. Let's get funnel cakes.
And then Edward says, "But what about me?"
Oh, honey. You know you weren't enough man for me anyway. What's wrong with little Polly? I know you've always wondered what a man's dick tastes like.
Whoa. That's true, he said.
Then Judge says, "You know, I've been interested in Polly too. I have a great big house, and there's room enough for all of us, including the kids."
Especially 'cause one of them's mine. So, I could raise my son, and Edward could raise his daughter, and together we could be one big family in big love. Actually.
And Petunia can watch the kids, which I know she loves to do. What say you, team?
And then Aunt Petunia says, maybe we could even get one of them reality shows out of this.
I even have a name for it that's never been used before. We'll call it The Bachelor.
And the family nodded in agreement as we pulled the camera back and revealed many, many other families were having similar conversations at Disney World, the happiest, polygamiest place on Earth.
And they all lived happily ever after.
And Edward got to taste what a dick tastes like.
And Juliet got to have her cock and eat it too.
The end.
Nice work, guys.
So what did we learn today, class?
You can get everything you want if you are selfish.
Yeah.
I learned that Disney World is very polyamory friendly.
That's why it's the happiest place on Earth.
Polyanimals. So this is horrible. What did you learn?
That's what I learned.
What did
That's-
you learn?
Oh, God. Anything could be a reality show.
Even The Bachelor.
Oh man, what a weird. That was great.
That was a bizarro one.
Bizarro one.
Well, it is Valentine's Day.
Hey, however you want to love, like that's cool. Finish My Story makes no comment on any type of love.
And there's no such thing as looking for love in all the wrong places, because
Love actually is all around us. Bam.
can't be. Well, it's like as many times as you can put Love Actually into our Love Actually cast. I'm proud.
Thank you. I don't know. I don't know if I have much more to say.
Where do we go from
I
here?
I think, you know.
I think we just happy Valentine's Day. Love you all, listeners. Oh, here. Remember to less.
Yeah.
You're gonna be punished.
Okay.
You at home, you get to vote. Remember, at Finish My Story Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and Finish Story Cast on Twitter. I think that one of the options might be less putting on a Cupid outfit in some way.
You're gonna make him do that again.
No, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll have some options that you guys can vote on.
And then,
Feel free to write in any suggestions
Yeah.
if you'd like.
Yeah.
Nothing weird or gross. Like, come on, like we're people.
Yeah.
But anything you want, write it in.
we'll do.
Yes. I'm not gonna say he's gonna do it, but he's definitely gonna do it.
If you vote for it, you can write it, but you gotta vote for it too. Shout out to Peru. How you doing? Still
Hola,
haven't heard
Peru.
from you. Still haven't heard from you. It's been a while.
It's been.
Yeah, it's been. I know you're listening, so just say hello. We miss you.
Say hello, not over.
Oh, we might have a new sponsor.
We may, but
Oh.
we're gonna.
No. We might have a real sponsor coming soon, but we might
Oh.
have a new fake sponsor from this episode.
Oh.
Cinnabon.
Oh, yes. What's better
We can
than-
take the whole mall over. We got the Panda Express. Remember,
Oh yeah, we're
eat Panda Express. It's like Chinese food, but for Americans. And then Cinnabon. They're swirls, and there's lots of sugar, and if you eat too many, you'll die very quickly.
Cinnabon. Do you want something that has all of your daily calories in one bite? Cinnabon.
That was good. And of course, Lunchables. Stack some meat, stack some cheese, stack some crackers, and there you have the facts of life.
I think like stacks of cheese, stacks of meat, stacks of fun. Lunchables.
Mine was better.
Well, yeah.
But if you
Fine.
do want to sponsor us, other than the sponsor that we're going to get, which is very exciting,
Very exciting.
then
Very cool.
then come and reach out to us and tell us and we'll do it. Anyone have anything else? You guys, anything you want to say before we go?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yes, happy Valentine's Day to the two of you. Much love.
Yeah, have a great. Thank you for listening. Again, I'm Peter.
I'm Les.
I'm Jonathan.
Have a great Valentine's Day. Enjoy those chocolates. I hope you still have some left. Enjoy your flowers and enjoy everything about this day. It is the perfect day in every single possible way. And I hope you enjoy it. I know you will. You're going to have a great time. Even if you're listening on the gym, it's still definitely Valentine's Day right now.
Listening on
Even
the
if it's
gym.
not, make it Valentine's Day in your mind. And yeah.
The most important thing about Valentine's Day is that you remember that tomorrow all the chocolate goes on sale.
Yes.
Yay.
Bye.